I love supporting black businesses. One issue I have though is that the daggone pricing of a black business tends to be a lot higher than other businesses. And I'm trying to figure out, is it what's going on? Is it that you guys are not getting the goods the same price as the other as your competitor, or you're not pricing it correctly? So to me, I'm sorry, but I like to support you, but no, I'm not going to pay 50% higher just to support you. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, I can't do that.
The answer is yes to everything you just said. One, we're not getting the goods at the prices that the competitors are getting them at. Mm-hmm. So when you're dealing with black businesses, you're doing it on a small scale. When you're dealing with these major corporations, everything is buy in bulk. It's just, think about it this way: when you go grocery shopping, what your food is going to cost when you go to the local Bravo or whatever versus shopping at BJ's. When you have these big companies that buy in bulk and they can sell in bulk, mm-hmm. they get their products for way cheaper so they can offer them at a much lower price.
But you know what? I'll even talk about something really simple. Like, I work in the city 2 days a week. So there were two vendors. One was a black vendor, one was a white vendor. The black vendor was selling a hat for, let's say, $20. So I was like, that's kind of steep. So I walked down to the white vendor. As I was walking down, he had it for $10. And that's just a local vendor. So I'm trying to figure out, are you trying to get over on me? Are you getting it for a higher price? What's going on, you know? But then I do support black businesses too, because my husband will tell you, there was a restaurant in Savannah that I used to go to, and it took me 20 minutes to get to this restaurant. But you know this restaurant I'm talking about. But I was faithful to this restaurant, and there would be so many incidents with this place, but I still went there. And I would tell them, like, I would come there because they were black owned. And I went there. I made the effort to go there because they were black owned. But I just think I can't support something that's twice as much. You know what I'm saying?
You also got to keep in mind, like, the black owned vendor might be higher, but did you ever think how many stores did that white vendor own? Is he actually paying the same price as the black vendor? Is his rent that he's paying?
No, not a rent. I'm talking about somebody on the street.
They all got to pay for permits. They all got to pay for their equipment. They all got to pay for everything. Costs. Nobody can just set up for free. So is his expenses the same as the black person?
Yeah, but does it warrant something to being twice as much? I doubt it.
Not that it warrants, but sometimes there's no way around it. Like, we all know things are unfair. We do not get things, for the same prices. Like, even if you go to the white vendor and you say, fine, you got it for cheaper from the white vendor, you think that same item that you purchased, the white customer that came after you paid exactly the same price you did? They probably got an even bigger discount than you mm-hmm. did. Things are just unfair all around. Mm-hmm. And it takes a while for a black business to get established and grow to a point where we can say, all right, fine, we can build and, have that buying power to buy in bulk and do so forth. It's just a lot of times we never make it that far.
Okay, I think he makes an excellent point, because that's one of the questions that I was going to ask. Do we support black businesses enough? Are we allowing them the opportunity to mature? So that's one question. And then two, I think we've all seen Chris Rock's Good Hair. Or was that the name of the film? Yeah. Right. So we know that Koreans have the hair industry on lock, and we know that we know that when black people try to enter this market, we know that they're being the pricing is exorbitant and that sort of thing. We know that they don't get things for the same price. I don't know if that's true across the board. According to the person who just spoke, that is true, right? But we definitely know in that particular industry that they are being charged an exorbitant amount, right? People are trying to isolate them, right? We don't want you in this market here, that they have it on lock. And then when black people try to enter that market, that the price is not fair. But I think that one of the questions that you have to ask yourself is, are we supporting black businesses enough so that they have the opportunity to mature and grow? Or is it that you hold them to a standard that really isn't unfair. You have this preconceived notion in your head of what's supposed to go on once you enter an establishment, and if that doesn't happen, then now you know what, I'm leaving, I'm not going to patronize it. And you may even embellish your story to your friend about what your experience actually was, so that now in turn they don't patronize the establishment either.
Well, I can speak for only myself, and I don't think I do that. I think that I try to support black businesses as much as I can. But like I said, like when I see that prices are not competitive, no, I can't. And that's just me. I just can't do it.
One thing I would say, right, and this is one thing that we do a lot amongst our people. Like when you see a situation like that come about, have you ever brought that to the attention of the black-owned business? Like, listen,
I have.
The guy down the block got it for this price. Why is his price so much cheaper than yours? Or what can you do to match this guy's price? You may have to. A lot of times, us, black people be like, nah, man, homeboy's bugging. I'm just gonna go to, Ali on the corner because Ali got it cheaper. I'm not gonna say a word to my brother or my sister. No. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna go to the competition. Plain and simple.
Right. Or even when you have a bad experience, how many of us actually take it to the person who owns the business and is like, look, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Try to see how they can accommodate you or whatever the case may be, or just alerting the person that, this is bad business practice and maybe that they could improve in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Because when we have a bad experience at Target, we go in there in a minute. Like, look, I want to speak to the manager. Yeah. This is what happened. Blah, 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 whatever. I'm just wondering if the same courtesy is being afforded to black business. And if it's not, then that's something that we need to do. We need to change.
Right. It's very true, because I feel that it's good that we're bringing this up, because this goes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of just talking about health, mental illness, things going on in the black community. It's the form of communication. We don't communicate to one another. It's like we have this fear of bringing things up. So even if we look at it from the standpoint of business, it's a critique. It's letting the person know, like, hey, maybe you should try this, maybe you should do this. The same way we look at mental illness in the community. Maybe we should try to seek this help. Maybe we should try to do this. Maybe we should try to do that. Let's try to seek this help for this individual, so and so and so. So it's like with the business, it's the same thing. So it just boils down to within us, the communication is not there, period.
You know what's so interesting about that? Like I patronized a black-owned business that was owned by somebody we know, right? All of us mutually know. And I had a subpar experience on the customer service side. Even before I tested the product, from the customer service side, I had a bad experience. And I got back in the car and I'm telling B, I'm like, I don't mean to hate, but this was my experience. I don't mean to hate, but this was my experience. And that's the thing, like, because I criticize the business, am I a hater? Because that's sometimes the reservation that you have. Like, this is my brother or sister starting a business, and I'm getting back in the car, and I want to say how bad the experience was, but I'm proud to see them doing something. So I'm holding back my criticism.
I think that the criticism should also, that's part of like the love, though.
Yeah.
Because you want to see them do better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Other people was not going to say nothing and they're not going to come back. Right. I remember I had an experience with the restaurant that I was just speaking of before in Savannah. I love this restaurant to death. And I wound up ordering some food because I used to go there for breakfast. So I worked from home. I called them when I was at my house, which is 20 minutes away, to put in my order. I get there, the food's not ready. 40 minutes later, the food's still not ready. So I say something. I said, you know what? This is unacceptable. I said, I've been waiting an hour for my food. I've been waiting here for 40 minutes. This is not acceptable. I said, I drive 20 minutes to come to you guys because you're black owned. Do you know how many restaurants I pass by that I could get the same thing that I'm getting from you guys? And I come here because you're black owned. I make that effort. You guys need to do better.
Well, just out of curiosity, what was the response?
They were like, we're really sorry. And they wound up comping my meal.
Okay. I think that's a way to come into an amicable end, because I'll always be like, Next time, no. Next time. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. A lot of times I think that sometimes.
Yeah, like, and I respect him for that. He knows, like, anytime people came into town, I would take them there. Like, that was my spot. A little hole in the wall breakfast spot, but they were black owned, so I supported them. Yeah, the food is excellent.
That's interesting. But there was something we talked about too, about supporting black-owned businesses, whether the prices are a little bit higher or things like that, just because it's black-owned businesses, and you would hope that they would circulate the money amongst other black-owned businesses. But the thing is, that to me is an order. That is a total order. That's a mindset that I could get this $17 at Target, but my brother got it for $20 over here. Like, that is.
But 20 is not bad. 34 is bad. Because you work hard for your money. Like, a lot of us are on budgets and stuff like that. We work hard for our money. So 34 and 20 is different than 17. 17 and 34 is different than 17 and 20. 20 I'll still do without a complaint. But 34 and 17, no, I'm not going to do.
Well, and it was another thing that Chat talked about too, that, let's say somebody else from another ethnicity, whatever it is, right? They patronize a business that's from their ethnicity, and they'll get a discount.
Mm-hmm.
But if, as a black man, I go to a black-owned business, and I see, like, where's the hookup? That's a problem. Like, are we wrong to ask for a hookup?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
You don't go to Target and ask for a hookup.
But let me ask you a question.
Well, I do.
Hang on.
I'm going to let y'all know I do. I go to Home Goods. I'm the queen of it. I go there with cash, and I will sit up there and argue the manager down. I remember when I was living in Atlanta, the manager knew when I was coming. He'd be like, oh, boy, here she go. Yes, I'm coming in there. I'm negotiating my prices, and I'm getting what I want in there.
All right.
But no, I don't do that to black-owned businesses, but I will do that in Target or Home Goods or anywhere else.
I mean, if an item isn't, or if the item has like a rip in it or something like that, yeah, I can get 10% off or 20% off, whatever.
Yeah.
But just thinking, if you come into some place that has a price tag on it, that's how much it costs. You're not supposed to be coming in here asking for a hookup. This is the price. It's $16.99. It's $16.99 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's not $16. You don't go down to $14 because I came in the store. No.
But let me ask you a question, right? Not debating your point, but to ask you a question. When it's a Jewish-owned business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever other ethnicity, it might say $16.99 on the tag, but they know $14.99 for me.
Yeah.
Everybody else seems to have the economic keys.
Yeah.
Khaled talk about the keys, but we don't got the keys. We don't got the keys. Everybody else seem to have the economic keys, but us. So how come if other ethnicities are doing it, then what's wrong with us? Are we just...
Well, I think we get offended when other people do it to us. I think that's what the issue is. I think we weren't brought up to know that. Go ahead.
Nah, what I had to say about that too is like we were talking about the community, all right? There's a guy, name is Dr. Claude Anderson. Find him on YouTube. He talks about bouncing the money. What he calls bouncing the money is like how many times that single dollar gets spent in your community before it leaves your community.
I think it's 2.
Right. No, it's like for black people, we don't bounce it at all. We don't bounce it at all. As soon as we get it,
it's gone.
We spend it out.
7 minutes.
You're right. 7 minutes. Every other community, they was like, the Jewish community, I think it bounces like 13 times. The Asian community, 13, 14, whatever times. So the reason why, people from other ethnicities can do that, where they be like, the sticker price is $16.99, but for their people, they can give it $14.99, is because who is their supplier? Their supplier is one of their own, and the distributor is one of their own. That, everything is within that circle. So they're giving discount. So by the time it gets to you, they have that leverage. Who are we getting it from? We're buying it from them to sell back to us. So when we're not getting that discount that they're getting, so we don't have that leverage to be like, you my people, so I could hook you up. I could give you the the $14.99 discount and charge everybody else $16.99. Now I gotta charge you $16.99 because I don't have that leverage.
But let me ask you a question, right? Pick a business, any business, a business that you're not involved in. Just pick a business.
Okay.
Grocery store, right?
Right.
So I run a black-owned grocery store. The black man comes in to purchase things from me. I can't afford to give you a discount. I can't afford to sell it to you cheaper than somebody outside of your ethnicity. Correct?
Yeah.
Let me paint a
Right.
scenario. I'm going to paint a scenario, right? So the thing about it is my suppliers, they charge me more, everything like that, right?
Mhm.
You tell me the whole spiel, right? And I'm
Right.
not saying what you said was right or wrong, but you painted the picture, right? Does that conversation translate into, I gotta charge you higher because this is how the system is currently set up, but check it out. This is how I got a grocery store. If you get a grocery store, and then we get a distributor, like our black business owners sharing the knowledge about how they got where they were.
That's a whole other story.
Whole
Yeah.
other story. We don't pass that knowledge. It's not even to say, fine, if you get a grocery store and I get a grocery store, then we can do that. How about you be the farmer and I'll be the grocery store, so I can buy it from you, so I can get it at that price. Like that all comes back to that community.
With all
So
due
there
respect,
is no, like, we don't talk, we don't share knowledge, we don't do that.
a brother never told me to be a farmer. He never gave me a rake, a shovel, seeds, nothing.
Because
I never know
why? Because he was telling you to go to school and become a lawyer and start your law firm that you can't start anyway because you got $100,000 in debt because you went to undergrad and law school. That's what he was telling you. This is exactly what I'm talking about. If you going to school and you getting these advanced degrees and you not coming back and investing the money in your community, it's all for naught. It makes no sense.
They teaching you or they advising you to learn the rules to a game that wasn't built for us to play.
Because to be honest,
You understand what I'm saying? Like, that game wasn't set up. That game was set up for us to lose.
as far as I
Like, make
know,
no mistake about it. That game was made for us to lose. Like, it's a game where we win, they lose. So then when you say, all right, fine, we're gonna go, we learn the rules to this game, and we gonna do it, we gonna study, we gonna become master of this game so we can win. The winners are far and few between.
and let me ask you, let me just pose a question. Let me just put it on the floor. Everybody, I'm familiar with everybody in this room. Everybody here has a college degree, right? How many of us went to college and got skills to be an entrepreneur on the way out? Or and I know some of y'all did marketing, finance, and things like that. If I'm correct, so you should kind of be getting those skills. But walking out of college, did you feel that you were able to open your own business, or was it like I could fix that resume?
Right.
That's part of it. That's part of it. I just
I don't think colleges are built for you. They're not created. I don't think colleges are created for you to become entrepreneurs necessarily.
No.
I think they're created for you to either go back to school or to get a job in some sort of corporate America, like just to go into corporate America. I don't think that it was set up for that. Because think about it, if you you don't necessarily need a degree to become an entrepreneur. So if you are teaching somebody to become an entrepreneur and they're teaching it to somebody else, you can make college obsolete.
Exactly.
And so and so you have to think about it like that.
And that's America at large, right? That's the way it functions. You go to school, you get a degree, and then you go out there and you beg for a job, right? Now I'm able to be employed, but that I think you're going to see that spiral out of control. That's what it's spiraling out of control. That's what's happening right now, right? Because people have these loans and stuff that they can't necessarily pay back. They can't afford to pay them back, right? But I think that we get the short end of the stick because we never had any money in the first place, right? So there's all of these loans. You took out all of this money to go to school, and you still don't have anything to show for it. You're still working a job that can't allow you to pay back these loans or much less make any type of profit. And you don't have anybody to come home. It's something different if you going to school and you're getting this degree in business, and now I'm coming home and I'm taking over my father's business. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm showing him how to make his business more profitable. We're not doing that. And that's because, I'm not saying that because I made the comment earlier, like, oh, you're going and you're becoming a lawyer. There's not anything wrong with becoming a lawyer, but how many lawyers do we need? We don't know. How many lawyers do we need? How many teachers do we need? How many doctors do we don't know?
It's almost like taking stock and inventory in terms of
There's exactly
the community.
There's no inventory.
We have to take stock
whatsoever.
and take stock of what is actually out there in terms of human resource amongst the black community or the black neighborhoods, to say. But that's what we do need. We need to know what it is that we need in terms of resource.
For us, would it be more profitable for you to become a lawyer, or do you need to take over my cleaning service?
Right.
And make it bigger than what it is? We don't know that.
Or take this rake and these seeds and become a farmer.
Exactly.
Back to that.
They send the groceries to the store. Bow to the store.
Exactly.